Welcome back from the weekend. Here, hanging out with us live from the Xfinity Lounge. It's the PHLY Sixers podcast, along with Derek Kyle. I'm Devon. Bree is producing, president of basketball operations that she is. Creeping up on the start of the regular season. All of you in the chat, it's great to be with you. We are presented by, as always, our good friends from Rothman Orthopedics. Visit rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Make sure you do us a favor. I don't even have the phone finger in here. I forgot it. That's my fault.
Come on, Devon.
I know. We're
Long
back from the weekend.
for
Hey, make sure you hit that like button for us. We really appreciate it. And just because we reach 50,000 doesn't mean it have to stop there. We can keep the 50K going. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show, as Kyle always lets us know. And do that for us here on this Monday that we are back. Look at that. President of basketball operations.
By a sentient phone
Make
finger.
sure that we have the phone finger. Hit that like button, everybody. We really appreciate it. We got a busy one for you today. It's a Mailbag Monday, as always, but we are going to start off with some questions that we have, because we can't ignore, Kyle, the shooting that did take place in Abu Dhabi. Yes, they were far, far, far away, but we talk about the shooting with this basketball team in general. And we still have to talk about the shooting. But before we get to that, we do want to let everybody know, big Phillies game tonight. Big Phillies game tonight. So as a result, we got to tell you about all that's going on here with the Phillies and the shows. We got the PHLY Phillies podcast postseason presented by TrueMark Financial. That is led by Tyler Zulli. Tyler getting you all set with everything with the pregame show, and then a huge post-game once again. I didn't know it was going to be that big with the way the post-game needed to be over the weekend on Saturday, but it was a downer a bit with the post-game show. Nevertheless, the team was ready for you, and the team was Tyler, Bill, and Pat Egan. You'd also get Rich Hoffman mixed in there, and you get some daily Red October mini pods throughout the postseason with Anthony Gargano. Hope it's not a shortened postseason after what we saw on Saturday. But with it, make sure you check out the PHLY Phillies pregame show with Tyler Zulli, postgame with Tyler and guest, and we'll have you all covered as the Phillies look to even up the series. All right, let's get to it. Shooting-wise, Phillies couldn't hit enough, score runs enough after those three that they put on the board. And in the preseason setting, the Sixers couldn't make shots. Kyle, in the two games over the weekend, they started off in game one on Thursday. They shot 34.6% from the field, and they shot
Is that good?
8.6% from three.
Is that good?
In game one. Game two, a little better, 44.7% from the floor, and from three, they made 12 threes on 36 attempts for 33% from beyond the three-point line. They did not have Quentin Grimes, no Jarrett McCain, of course, because of the injury. Paul George, Joel Embiid not playing in the game as well. Trenton Watford not available to make some plays and set up his teammates for some open looks out there. But we've talked about the outside shooting needing to be better from a year ago, and we need that once again. Those two, it's just the preseason. So we're not overreacting.
But just for frame of reference
but
here.
We are talking about it because it did, in fact, happen. The shooting needs to get better again.
Can you guess the only two teams in the preseason
they're
so
the international
far
teams
to shoot worse than the Sixers?
No, well, I just looked this up.
The
so
Southeast Melbourne Phoenix and Jerusalem Basketball Club are the only two teams in the preseason to shoot worse than the Sixers from three.
Okay.
So they have been the worst NBA team in the preseason.
And for the record, they only did so in one game each. The Sixers are the only one
so
that did two games.
They might be able to balance out that sample. And, they have, when Southeast Melbourne Phoenix play somebody else, presumably they're going to drag up that percentage a little bit. Yeah, the Sixers are the worst three-point shooting team in the preseason so far by 4% behind the Lakers. And the Lakers, that's a little bit predictable given the personnel that they have. It's a weird setup for a LeBron team that you would think that you get as many shooters as possible. But if only there were 20 years of evidence of what type of team you need to put around LeBron James and Luka Doncic as well. So obviously you're not going to panic about anything quite yet, right?
No.
Because charitably, 4 of your best players are just not playing, right? Joel and Paul are out. Jared McCain is out. Quentin Grimes was being offered $100K to waive a no trade clause and presumably stewing about that in some smoky room, negotiating room somewhere, right? Like just absolutely stewing over the insult that was, right? So when you have those 4 guys and 3 of them are guys who you're going to rely on every single game as just pure floor spacers, right? And then the 4th guy is Joel Embiid, who he's going to step out, take pick and pop jumpers, even when he's not taking threes. His ability to draw people out to him in the mid-range, draw doubles, triple teams even at times, that's going to open up the floor. That'll create more open opportunities. We all know that what they have put on the floor so far is not representative of the full strength team. What I would say is that when you look at all the guys that they have otherwise who will fill out the rotation, right? VJ is off to a disappointing start as a shooter. Kelly Oubre, I think we collectively probably have very little confidence that he's going to be a good shooter, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe he has an average shooting season, but even that would be a quantum leap from last year and generally where he's been at.
And his average is like 31%. Like that's a good shooting season for Kelly.
Right. If he could get to 35%, you'd be throwing a parade. Both of your backup center options are non-shooters. At least they should be. Drummond. Andre Drummond was 1 for 2 last game on those threes, so we give him his credit for that. But we also say, good job, never take the shot again. So both of those guys are not. Thank you, Bree, for bringing up that graphic
Look
again.
at that graphic, man.
Just insane, doing the Steph Curry turn to the bench. Like, what are we doing here? So those guys are not helping with it. Watford is a question mark. Barlow is a question mark. Jabari Walker is a question mark. Like, there are not a lot of guys from, let's say, 5 to 10 in the rotation.
Let's add Edwards in there.
So Edwards is someone that we think should be a shooter.
1 for 11,
but he's been really bad to start.
for
So maybe you
15
hope
from
that
the
he is
floor.
more in the group of, I expect that guy to make shots. But even like, what did he end up shooting last year? Like 36, 37%?
Mm-hmm.
That would be probably good enough. But if he's only going to be a catch and shoot player, I think you would maybe hope for it, get that up to 38, 39, ideally.
Yep.
Of course, you'd love everyone to shoot 40+%, but not going to happen. So the point is, you don't read too much into it because the shot profiles will change, the players and the talent will change. But you do get concerned that when these guys go to the bench, when even if they're fully healthy, as you start staggering your stars, once you take 1 or 2 guys out of this lineup, you could end up in situations where it's like you have 2 and 3 non-shooters on the floor or questionable shooters on the floor to be able to get the rebounding and the size and the other things that maybe they can't get otherwise. So it's not time to say, hey, they're screwed, they can't shoot. But it is time to say, maybe that is something that we're looking at as a mid-season trade or upgrade skill that they're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I think the answer is, do you need more shooting is almost always yes, but especially for this team, and especially when you're surrounding Joel Embiid. You know, Kyle's right. Like, they're missing 3 of their better shooters right now, and 3 of their higher volume shooters too. And they're missing the one guy who can actually create double or force double teams and create open shots for his teammates. So, like, you don't expect them necessarily to shoot well. I think part of the problem is it's like, oh, wow, this just looks a lot like last year. Which, again, of course, when you lose those guys, you're going to not be a good basketball team. But it's also, you know, we're sitting here going like, man, just realizing how much your emotional stability is tied to Joel Embiid and Paul George, who we all know is uncertain, we'll be polite. It does, you know, it is the guys. It's VJ, who, look, I think when we watched him in Summer League, look, I think this kid's going to be good. I think could be good pretty early, but he could also be like, oh, wow, he looks really intriguing. Oh, by the way, he's shooting 27% from 3. Yeah. There is a lot of work that's going to have to go into making that a viable NBA 3-point shot. I'm not expecting it in the first 2 preseason games. Justin Edwards is probably the one that's actually disappointing. Even he, like, we understand, like, he needs to be playing off of stars, and you're really only playing off of Tyrese right now. But quite frankly, I expect him to play better in these 2 preseason games, if we're being honest. So, no, I'm not going to react to the number per se. It is startling. Just like, oh, this feels like last year, and boy, I really hope we can get some cooperation here from the knees of the older stars on this team.
I think so. When you talk about the old stars, this is where I think once we get to the regular season and guys are out there, we've talked about the additions of Edgecombe and bringing McCain back. Obviously, we thought some way, somehow, the Grimes situation would play itself out. But it's important where Paul George shoots and plays better than he did a season ago, because with him at the 4 spot and you having Oubre on the floor and him not being a shooter, but when you start to stagger the guards' minutes where it's 2 on the floor at each time, you're thinking you have 2 that can just shoot. And we believe that where Maxey can shoot, at least Edgecombe can do something out there that's going to help affect the basketball game where McCain and Grimes can score and shoot as well. The front court position, being able to hit shots with Oubre, most importantly, though, with George, his minutes are going to be huge in that spot, because if he is able to play off of Embiid and hit those open shots that he didn't make last season, that will go a long way for their overall team shooting percentage. And even when Derek says you're not going to react to the numbers as much, I agree that you don't have to react to the numbers as much, especially in the preseason, but it's more of what we saw, and they had good looks at those shots in those games on Thursday and Saturday that did not drop. Now, Saturday was much better than Thursday, but you had to be better than Thursday because you only made 3 threes out of the attempts that you had, and you shot very poorly from the floor. But they did improve, and you're not going to have out there Kennedy Chandler taking shots all like that, and some of these other players that were out there on the floor, with all due respect. Shout out our guy, Malk Hill. What up, Malk? That, you see what happens.
Go get him, Malk.
Go get him, Malk. That when George is out there making shots, Embiid is Embiid. So if he's making shots and he's creating those open opportunities for others and they start to fall, we've seen plenty of games where they shoot a really high percentage as a team, and it's based off of the fact that he gets so much attention. But if George has it going, and he wasn't in these 2 games, so this doesn't count to him for these particular games, but we saw last year where he didn't shoot all that well, and the guys continue to bring it up over and over again that he is just shooting so poorly. If he bounces back and maybe not averages the numbers that he has from points and all from his All-Star year prior to signing with the Philadelphia 76ers, but he at least shoots similar to those numbers at those percentages, those splits would be really good for what it does for everybody else. And I saw a tweet a little bit earlier, somebody just kind of reflecting back onto the 2 games where Tyrese Maxey did one of his Tyrese Maxey moves, and he makes a long 3-pointer because he can make those, like VJ Edgecombe said. You watch these guys shoot over and over again, and you just realize how good they are as shooters. Maxey made one of his typical threes the other day, and somewhere in my timeline just pointed out, Tyrese is back to being Tyrese. If he's doing that and Paul George is making shots, that will make up for a lot of the errors that we will see out there on the floor because of their ability to shoot. So if he's driving it and Paul George is following it up, McCain returns and he's back to his form of shooting, Quentin Grimes can shoot, I think this will be a much better shooting team than we saw a season ago. And they always bring up a great point about Justin Edwards. If he's out there with the other players that we're expecting him to share the floor with, those shots will start to fall. It's disappointing because we thought we were going to see it from the very start.
Yeah.
But it's only 2 games. So not waving a red flag, and we're certainly not pressing the panic button. Just an observation of it's early. They weren't making those shots, but it's also early. They should still have a chance to make those shots.
Now, here's what I would say on the flip side of that, right? I think what we have seen, not just with the Sixers, but there are plenty of Sixers examples for this, but around the league, is that when you get into big games, playoffs, big series, or just against like good defenses, they will punish you for having even one bad or non-shooter on the floor, right? It only takes one guy who the opponent says, you know what? I don't care if this guy beats us, or like, I'm going to dare this guy to beat us. And, sometimes you do that. And the Sixers have been on the wrong side of it, right? Where they said, hey, Josh Hart, we don't care if you get up threes the entire playoff series. We're not going to let other guys beat us. And then Josh Hart shoots out of his mind for an entire series. And you tip your cap to him and say, good job by him. Got into a rhythm, found his confidence, right? But we've seen with the Sixers between Ben Simmons and Matisse Thybulle and a bunch of other guys, like sometimes that guy just stands in the corner. The defense doesn't get within 10 feet of him. And not only are you not making shots, but then you get into this frozen kind of panic mindset. The ball sticks. You don't make quick decisions. And the defense is winning every single one of those possessions. And then you end up in this kind of, you're just stuck, right? Where you say, well, I need this guy for this. He brings a skill set or a series of skills that we don't have otherwise, but he's killing our offense, right? And that works on both sides of the floor. So then if you tilt the other way and you say, hey, we really need shooting, right? It's at such a premium, got to get shooting and spacing around Joel Embiid. And then you put guys like Seth Curry and Furkan Korkmaz and these guys out there who they space the floor and they can make shots. And then they are a moving target on the other end, right? And so I would say what I am concerned about is that, right? Where as you juggle through the rotation, as you're moving through different combinations, that you are pretty naturally going to end up with one or two guys in a lot of these lineups where I think defenses are going to say, we'll play zone, we'll play it just completely off for that guy and use them as a roamer to
prove it,
double Joel or send help at Maxey or whatever it might be. And so that would be what my concern is. It's not that they don't have enough shooting at the top end, right? I think they have plenty of the high end shooting, but as you get deeper and you have to make meaningful choices in the rotation, I could see them running into some problems and some walls there.
No, and what you brought up, like, yeah, really four, because Joel's a really good shooter too.
Yeah.
4 of the Sixers' best shooters aren't on the floor right now. But what you brought up with, well, but a lot of their depth, their 5 through 12 of the rotation, they're just fundamentally not good shooters. Your 2 backup centers, non-shooters. Your 3 power forwards that you're currently evaluating, and one of them's probably all of them at some point in the year. One of them is certainly going to be in the rotation. Yeah. Non-shooter. Kelly's a non-shooter. VJ's a not great shooter right now. Don't want to call him a non-shooter yet. Give him a chance to prove himself at the NBA, but he's certainly not someone you're banking on shooting right now. You've just got a lot of players here who you can't rely on. And part of that, look, when you have a 3 max lineup core and an owner who doesn't seem like he wants to pay the luxury tax, you end up having, you knew I was going to bring back the luxury tax in some way.
The luxury tax, Bell. We should get a luxury tax, a Josh Harris jar to throw on the
cash
table.
register or something. But like when you end up having to build out a roster of minimum salary players.
Here's $1 million idea, Derek. We get a Josh Harris jar and we pay the luxury tax for the team so they spend some money.
Send the super chats in, y'all.
When you have to build a roster 5 through 12 of minimum salary players in 2 ways, guys, you end up having some deficiencies. A lot of times they're minimum guys because they can't shoot. It's fundamentally built into the process, which is when you get someone, a true 2-way player like Quentin Grimes, I don't know, maybe considering give him, dip into that luxury tax.
Offer
keep
more
him
than
around
$100K
long.
raise on the
Yes.
qualifying offer.
Get us to 100K. And all for Quentin Grimes, man. Get us to 100K in our subscription.
Put that in a duffel bag and leave it at, I don't know, whatever intersection he lives
Just say it,
at.
like you got to keep her around. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, here in there, as we have said, and when forever is right, it's too early. We will be good once Grimes and McCain comes back. We'll
and
see.
I do feel we
agree.
good about those guys,
Yeah.
right? I think when
Quentin Grimes is back with the team this week,
yeah,
you maybe see him on Friday. We'll find out.
I mean, we might see him tomorrow if they have practice, which that would be a fun. Oh, Quentin, what'd you think of those offers?
Well, just summer like. But yes, man. When we come back, we'll keep the shooting going. Someone asked about, I think I saw it in there. Let me just get it right so I can give them the credit. And they said, yes. Duck Holiday says, what about the defense? Well, we can have a conversation about the defense. It's the preseason, but we will have a conversation. The offense as well. We had questions about that after the 2 games. Where's the changes? Were there any? We'll talk about it all as we hang out with you. Plus a Mailbag Monday coming up for you right here on a Monday as we get back from the weekend. Boy, it was a tough weekend. I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Hanging out with you all right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast.
Look, guys, we've all got a massive, massive, massive game here to watch in just a couple of hours. You want to make sure you're at a good location because you don't want to get to a friend's house and they tell you they've got a great setup, but it's a gosh darn mess. It's buffering, it's lagging.
You don't want to get that look, everybody.
You can't even watch
Stare.
the game and pay attention, which who knows, if it goes down like Saturday, maybe that's a good thing. But you truly want to be able to watch this because I'm trying to be positive. I'm feeling something epic going to happen tonight. Make sure that you are at a good place. Make sure that if you're a sports fan, you have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. I can find the best games and my favorite teams all in one place. The way that you watch is next level. Got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like I'm in the arena. On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right on my TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
I got to tell you about our good people, our presenting sponsor here on the show, Rothman Orthopedics, because after you celebrate tonight's win and you jump up all happy and, just excited, you might bang your elbow on something that you're just so excited to hugging with the family, and you tweak that knee because you banged it on the
wall
coffee
watching
table,
Philly sports.
or that, and you have to go get your hand checked out. Rothman Orthopedics is the place for you to go with 108 plus fellowship trained physicians specializing in specific areas of the body and a multitude of orthopedic services, including the hip, knee, spine, shoulder, elbow, foot, ankle, hand, and wrist after you punch whatever you're punching. Sports medicine, they've got you covered. So whether you're running along the Kelly Drive and just trying to get in better shape and you tweak an ankle, or punching a wall out of frustration, Rothman Orthopedics is the place for you. If pain is slowing you down this season, take the first step. Head to rothmanortho.com/PHLY. Schedule your appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics, your mobility, their mission. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast here on a Monday, where you got to talk about the Eagles too, because they suffered their first loss of the season, and where you need to read all of that is with with our good friends from the PHLY Eagles side of things. And you can sign up if you haven't done so to become a diehard member. We've got two sign-up opportunities for you. One with the limited edition shirt. You're still feeling the team spirit, you get a shirt. If you're still feeling your 4-1 football team and you want the Kelly Green hat that we have here at PHLY, the branded Bills diehard hat, $36 for the limited edition shirt, and the sign-up to become a diehard member, $59 for the limited edition hat, where the quantities are limited and you need to go get yours. Hurry up.
I was planning on wearing mine today, and then after that performance yesterday, I was like, you know what? They don't deserve for me to wear that color.
Yeah.
$59 for the sign up to become a diehard member. Allphly.com. Go sign up, become a member. And while you're at it, when you get the full access to the premium content and the events and merch and discounts and Discord, all of that is available to you. When you sign up, one of the things that you need to do is make sure you go read The Early Bird by E.J. Smith and the PHLY Eagles team. The Early Bird, where you get all kinds of behind-the-scenes, different content, the written content from E.J., Bo, Fran, and Les Bowen. Go check it out, allphly.com. 2 opportunities for you to sign up right there, 2 price points. We hope that you do so and become a member of our community. And we have reached, again, 50,000 subscribers. So let's make it 100 so we can help out Quentin Grimes getting that $100,000 that he needs, because he got screwed on that offer. If it's true. Which is allegedly.
I will say there was more reporting about that over the weekend, and it seems like, I don't want to misattribute this. Mark Stein, friend of the show,
saw that.
I believe reported that it was definitely not over 9 million. So at most, that's what, 300K?
Yeah.
Boy, really changes things.
Hard times, man. Hard times.
Josh Harris really struggling for that helicopter money. Come on, dude.
It's you, not me. I did not talk about the luxury tax. I would never do that.
Throw the money in the Josh Harris
No,
jar.
if we had a luxury tax jar, I'd be screwed.
Jar.
You'd have to take that right from my paycheck and just put it in that jar.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to the offense as we continue to talk about that. And one of the other things, Derek, was the lack of anything new from the offense that we saw. But how much of that do you just attribute to where there weren't too many things where you ask for Nick Nurse to show some new things, but it's the preseason. So how much do you really want to show? How much do you really want to give away? Plus, there weren't players on the team outside of Oubre and Maxey and VJ Edgecombe is a newcomer, Bona, Drummond. There were a lot of new people there too. So how much do you really want to show? And since you didn't have your regulars, that you don't want to do too much.
Do you want my rational answer or my I'm frustrated answer?
Let's go rational.
Frustrated.
We'll let Kyle do the frustrated one. No, look, they had 2 days of practice, got on a flight, went overseas. 4 of their best players aren't in. I wouldn't, and they know that like they're going to have to integrate a lot of this stuff when Quentin comes in as well. So like them not having their full offense ready to go, not stunning at all. And if this was a team that was running creative stuff last year, you'd go like, oh, I understand it. Like it's early, had almost no practices. Even now, like, yeah, they might not be in training camp right now, but they're like, you're coming back and you have a week between games. You're going to have a lot of practice time to try to put in your stuff. It is not a huge deal if they don't have everything in the books right now. But we did just spend a year watching some of the least creative offense that we've seen, and certainly some more disappointing offensive sets that we've seen. So you're on high alert. But no, it probably, the expectation probably shouldn't have been they're going to come out and run a completely different offense. But ooh, boy, did it look like a lot like last year.
Yeah, well, I'll add on to what you said, Derek. If we just think about the circumstances that the Sixers played in, and we look at the Knicks, while the Knicks had way more continuity in terms of personnel, they did change their head coach, and they went through all the same travel stuff, and their offense was not very good over there either, right? And so they're trying to install stuff. They're trying to play slightly differently, play through guys in different ways, right? And so they are not exactly blowing the doors off anyone on that end of the floor. And so you say, all right, there's a little bit of this. It's just like, these guys should not be flying to Abu Dhabi to play preseason games.
Yeah.
If you want it to be meaningful basketball, or you want it to be something that is anything other than off-court PR where you do some clinics and sign some autographs and whatever, because the basketball just doesn't mean that much in the preseason. It definitely doesn't mean that much there. Now, that being said, yes, of course I would like to see some different stuff being run. And actually, Devon and I were sitting there at the very start of Saturday's game, and they ran a nice look to try to get Maxey and off-ball catch and shoot 3, right? DJ has the ball in his hands. Very first play. And I was like, oh, like I like that. That's not something that we saw all the time. And that clearly had some intent behind it, right? We have talked a lot about they need to get Maxey going in these different ways. That's an effort to do that. Great. And then the game starts going, and you almost look at it as like, oh, that was like their version of the script for an offensive coordinator to start
First
the
15.
game. The first 15 was one play, and then the rest of the game is just same dribble handoff, same side-to-side stuff for a lot of the game. It's not to say it's every play, right? And even dribble handoffs and those looks have different reads and different concepts within that, right? It's not always just as simple as they're running a 3-man weave on the perimeter. But by and large, we're not seeing a whole lot of changes yet. And I think the reason that's most disappointing is because this is and was the time when you knew with some certainty Joel Embiid's not going to be out there, right? So if you're trying to develop maybe not an entirely new style, but at least an offshoot identity when it's Maxey and Edgecombe and the guys who are left without Joel, this was a great opportunity. And I didn't really see that being taken advantage of. So it doesn't mean they're not going to change things. It doesn't mean when the regular season starts, we won't see more concepts more often. We just haven't seen much yet.
So I'll go on the Knicks side since you brought that part up, just because I do kind of pay attention to some of the other stuff that they're saying on the fan side, right? One of the things that they pointed out was the lack of movement that was there last year. And even though it was a preseason game and they didn't shoot it well, the fan base just simply pointed out, man, look at the movement that we're seeing now, even though it's the preseason, from this new head coach and what he wants to implement. That's different because they have to do some of those things to get used to it, so that while the continuity is there with personnel, it's an entirely new system offensively where they have to get used to what Mike Brown wants to run. So again, it's only preseason. Maybe they're just holding back because they want to do a lot of that stuff when the regulars do also get back into the mix. But we've also talked about the secondary offenses that they need to run because Joel Embiid is going to miss games. Paul George will probably miss games. and it's going to be a Tyrese Maxey led squad, and you just want to see a little bit of creativeness there from the coaching staff with the players out there. And their bag is so deep when it comes to how much they put into things. You can sprinkle in a little bit of this and a little bit of that, where you're not giving away too much. Like when we talk about in the preseason, since you bring up the 15 scripted plays in football, you see preseason games and they'll run a play and there's some misdirection thing and you're like, oh. Yeah. And then the fans are like, why didn't you hold that for the regular season? Or it's a blowout in the regular. Why don't you wait until it's a game in the playoffs where you can use that? No, if it's something there, experiment with it. See if it works. And yeah, it's on film.
You have to see if it works in a game before or in any kind of game before you know if it's going to work at scale.
And if it's on film and you feel like it's a good play though, so what? That means it's a good play and it might work even when you do it again and again and again.
This ain't football, man. You run pick and rolls. Everybody runs the same shit, all right? You just get good at running it. Oh, I'm sorry.
One in the jar.
You don't have to worry about people scouting it. Like you get good at executing it with your best players.
Clearly fired up about these losses over the weekend.
No, if I'm being honest, I don't. Well, I'm more annoyed. But yeah, you finally woke me up from my slumber because I've been
but that's
comatose for the last 24 hours.
Run it.
No, run it. Like you don't have to get cute. No. It's not football.
No, but even if you do get cute, so what? They saw it. Do it again and execute it. Because how many times did we say it then when a pick and roll was coming from James Harden and Joel Embiid or Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid? Run it again. Run it again.
Yeah. And they used to twirl the
run
finger.
It again.
We're running
Make
it back.
them stop it. And that's it. So we'll see how creative they do eventually get once the players do get back into it. But I'd imagine since it's the preseason that we won't see Embiid and George. So how much will you see with Grimes when he gets in there? Because McCain is also out. Will we see anything new on Friday and then next Friday from the team?
And if I'm being honest, my concern isn't that like, oh, there's people out, so you're not seeing it, or that it's preseason, so you don't reveal your hand. My concern is that they're just running it back with the same base offensive philosophy and hoping that you get a different result.
I'm trying, Derek. I'm trying.
And then in training camp, they were like, yeah, we're trying some new offensive stuff. And then we get to Nurse, and he's like, we did all defense today.
Well, and even worse, funny. Like Joel was like, yeah, we focused on offense today. And Nurse was like, yeah, we did defense. It's like, guys, can we get on the same page here?
Hey, what are we going to see in the open practice on Sunday, Derek? You going to see some new stuff? All right.
You're going to see Joel Embiid coaching is what you're going to see.
All right. Final pause here on the show. We come back. We get into the mailbag portion of the show. We got some mailbag questions that we need to run through and talk about those, some news and notes a little bit later as well. We'll do all that right here on this Monday. It's the PHLY, a mailbag Monday. On the other side, the PHLY Sixers podcast. Gang, I know, you're frustrated. You made your wagers on Saturday and you made your wagers on Sunday and you got hurt by them at Bet365. But don't worry, you get your money back. You're all good. You're one of the 90 million users worldwide, and you need to get back in there, get back on the horse, place that ticket for tonight's game 2, and get right to it with the Phils as they take on Los Angeles. The MLB early payout offer, if your team that you placed that wager on, 5 runs ahead with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. All you have to do is download the app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. There's also a Monday Night Football game tonight where you get a 50% super profit boost token on same game parlays as well. We got you covered all right there at Bet365. So if you have not signed up, please do. New customers get $200 in bonus bets. When you place a $5 bet, you get $200 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, you're covered right there at Bet365. It's never ordinary at placing these wagers at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey guys, it's Kyle. I hope you didn't forget that in the minute that Devon was talking there. But I just wanted to remind you, when the weather starts getting cold, the last thing you need is a bunch of home projects piling up. I can speak from experience. You don't want to be in the middle of the winter and it's like, why is my heat not working? Why is it not insulated enough, right? And you don't want to have to fix it yourself because, frankly, you're not qualified to do so. Ace Hardware Home Services brings the trusted local pros right to your door to help you get your home ready for the colder months. From heating tune-ups and plumbing fixes to generators, emergency repairs, Their experts can handle it all. There's no guesswork and no stress, just a local pro who gets the job done right. Satisfaction is guaranteed. Find the help you need for your next home project at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the PHLY Sixers podcast. Let's get to the Mailbag Monday, everybody. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. I know you have questions from the two games. Hopefully we have some answers. Let's get it started here on this Monday from Ashton R. 1832. What would each of you give as one optimistic hot take prediction and one pessimistic prediction for the season? One optimistic one and one pessimistic one. Who wants to go first?
Pessimistic, Paul George and Joel Embiid combined for less than 100 games played.
Good one. Combined.
Now, if
But
that
that's
was
a bad
100 games together, that would be one heck of a season.
Well, yeah, good luck with that one, buddy.
I'll say pessimistic. You still don't have your answer at the center position behind Joel Embiid.
I am in mostly agreement with you on that one.
We're all paying attention to it. It's not breaking news here that the rebounding from Adembona is not good enough.
Yeah.
And Andre Drummond, you still have Andre Drummond questions?
I was waiting for you to be like, and Andre Drummond is on the team?
We still have those questions. So I would at least say pessimistic. We still need answers about the backup center position. And if he's not going to play Joel Embiid, like you said, a combined 100 games missed, one of those two are going to be starting. And I still want to see a lot more from either of those two.
So we've talked a lot about like Paul George getting his groove back. I think Paul George is your fourth leading scorer on the team this year.
Is that optimistic or pessimistic?
We go either way.
Who's third?
Well, that's my optimistic part. You can't reveal that.
So
yet.
Okay, well then
so
go
into it,
optimistic.
and then I follow you up.
Snake
I think Jared
draft.
McCain averages like 17 this year.
Oh.
Interesting. Okay.
Now, I'll change this by the time we get to real predictions, but this is on the spot. I think Jared McCain has a good year and ends up forcing his way into rotation because I don't know if you watched the last two games, but a lot of people on this team can't shoot, and you really need his shooting.
My optimistic is Quentin Grimes is still good. Even though he played the role.
I sure hope so.
Even though he played that role of bad team, let me go average 25 points because I can and command $30 million on the open market or the restricted free agent market and trying to get a big payday. He's still good at basketball, and he will have a good season. He will be the third leading scorer on the team if Paul George is not. I think Quentin Grimes has a chance to do so in a starting role, and the offseason is the offseason. But in season, I think that Quentin Grimes is still going to be a pretty good player in the role that he has. Different role for this basketball.
My original pessimistic prediction was Paul George under 15, but that's in part because of Jared taking a step. That's in part because of Grimes and all the options that you have. But I didn't want to put an exact number, so I kind of chickened out and went fourth leading scorer.
Okay.
Maxey back over 38% from three.
Oh, I hope so.
One, because they just can't afford for him not to be. But two, because last year was a pretty big outlier. The season before, when he had Joel half the year and then, kind of went off the rails there. He was at like 37.5, 37.3, something in that range, if I remember correctly. So I think getting him off the ball more, playing with more guards, I'm expecting some positive regression for him. Yeah, 37.3. I actually remember that exactly. And then 33.7 last year. So 38% or better for Maxey from three, and they desperately need it. I'm hoping that a lot of that just means he's not taking a million step back threes a game this year.
And to Eugene's point, I took Joel Embiid predictions off the board. I can't even think about what a pessimistic Joel Embiid prediction would look like. Not going to do it. Nope.
I can't think about what a positive one would look like because we're so far removed at this point from him looking like Joel Embiid. So I'm hoping for the best for him, but I can't even get into a frame of mind that's like, boy, Joel's back all-star level. Can't get there.
Not yet. We still have a lot of runway to figure that one out. Quickly, before we get to the next question, Thanks for that question, first of all. But before we get to the next one, Bree has a poll up right now, right there in the chat. If you can, go vote on it, please. The question is it too early to hit the panic button? Yes, it's just preseason. No, nope. I'm worried from what I saw. We'll give the poll results at the end of the show. So please go make your votes right now. So far, we have 51 votes in there. Let's get that number up and hit those.
Get the damn likes up, too, man.
Get the likes up.
Get those likes.
Tell
We
them,
always
Kyle.
want those likes up. Put that foam finger on, Devon, for the people. We have way more people in here than have liked the show up to this point. It helps us out. It helps me sleep at night. It's a reflection on our great super producer, Bree, who does so much good work for us. It takes almost no effort. Just hit the thumbs up, and it helps the show. It's that simple. Anyway,
That's it.
back to the mailbag.
Back to the mailbag. Thank you, everybody, for hitting that like button. Keep hitting that like button. Keep smashing it. And refresh your page if you want and hit it again. I don't know.
It's not how that
I don't
works.
think it works that way, buddy.
But
Go
log
to the
into
other
all
device.
of your burner
Go
accounts.
to the other device. That's right.
If we had
I
Brian
don't think
watching
we can
the show.
encourage that behavior. I think we'll probably get in trouble for that.
All right.
Just hit the damn thumbs up.
Next question. What do we have here? Veteran of the Psychic Wars. What can be gained from the preseason if Embiid and George don't play or Watford misses another game? Guard pairings, maybe, but even that seems tenuous if 2 or 3 of the guys, the main cogs, don't play. Thanks for the question. We just kind of talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, it is all tenuous. Like, you don't want to overreact. You don't want to.
But we have to talk about
I
it.
do think if Grimes, well, not if, when Grimes plays, if you can get a look at Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, and like anybody else, I think that is meaningful going into the season. Now, that is because I've said before, I'm coming at it from a perspective of I want that to be the starting group 1 through 3, right? With respect to Kelly Oubre has shot poorly, and we don't expect him to shoot well, but is at least like once again, it's been one of their best defenders in the preseason, as much as that matters, and is a guy who's a versatile, switchable guy on that end of the floor. I still would rather see Maxey, VJ, Grimes, PG, Embiid, and just like, this is how we're going to play, right? You're going to play 3-guard lineups. You might as well play them from the start. You want to accelerate VJ's development. You want to get Grimes on the floor because he's one of your best 2-way players. So I think it'd be meaningful to see that grouping specifically. I think there are some other things too, like can Adem Bona clean up the rebounding is another one, even if we're pessimistic there. What can he show before the season starts? Can Justin Edwards right the ship a little bit? Who emerges from that power forward battle, right? Because, like, look, as much as I think we all believe Watford is ahead of those other two because he's on a standard contract versus a 2-way, Barlow has played pretty well, and Jabari Walker has looked pretty good.
And they're
right?
both on 2-way contracts.
Yeah, so
There's a lot to play for.
if Watford comes in, and I know the question is like if we don't see Watford, but if Watford doesn't play in the preseason and then he gets thrown into the rotation because of preconceived expectations and he plays poorly, Nick Nurse is going to look at the other 2 guys that gave him good minutes in the preseason and say, I'll give these guys a shot, right? Not playing Trendon Watford, who's on a minimum contract, is not something that's like, oh my God, Daryl Morey's going to come down from his ivory tower with a mandate. Like, you have to play Trendon Watford, right? So I still think the minutes that Walker and Barlow are showing you and giving them are meaningful as they try to figure out what's going on at that spot.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of stuff in the individual battles you can take. Team success, I don't really worry about at all in the preseason, especially when you're missing so many important pieces. But, I mean, what they do with their guards, including VJ's role when Grimes comes back, how VJ looks excelling in that role, backup center and that power forward spot, that's certainly where you go. Like, I'm not, like, whatever Kelly does, I don't really care about, good or bad, because he's Kelly. Like, we've watched him for 2 years. We know who he is as an NBA player. He's largely going to be that this year. It's the young kids, it's the new guys, it's the front court.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep it rolling, Bree. Next question. TK76, always with some good questions there on the mailbag. Are there any players on the roster over 6'2" who we can rely on as both being able to shoot and stay healthy? Isn't that sort of an unusual problem for an NBA team?
Grimes should be the
Quentin,
guy.
I was gonna say, yeah, Quentin Grimes. Yep.
But he may be the only guy.
Because
I guess I
Can't count on PG to be healthy.
No.
Edgecombe should be healthy, but we haven't seen it yet.
We also don't know if he's
The
going to shoot.
shot is, yeah.
We don't know
We're
yet.
believers in the shot generally,
Yep.
but early on, certainly fair to be skeptical. It's really just Grimes.
Might be Justin if you buy the defense, but I
Yeah.
don't really buy the defense, and quite frankly, he hasn't shot well. So I think the shot will come around.
Yeah,
It's more the
I agree.
defense I'm concerned. Like if he doesn't play better defense and isn't able to create something inside the paint, he might lose rotation minutes. So does it matter if he's not in the rotation?
Grimes is the answer.
Yeah.
That's an easy answer.
But to TK's point, like the fact that there's one is a tough spot to build a team from.
Should be 2, but again, you're still waiting on Paul George to be Paul George to say that. So, yeah, Grimes is the answer. Thanks, TK, for the question. Keep it moving with the next one. Racing Lizardo. Boy, Lizardo, perfect timing, right? Tonight.
Come on, buddy. Come
There
through
you
tonight,
go.
please.
Who will be this year's Justin Edwards?
So emerges.
I guess first we have to define what he thinks Justin Edwards is.
Is it Justin Edwards or just
Is
more
it-
of the guy that just emerges from the two-way or just one that jumps out at you after low expectations for the start of the year? Ricky Council won, and then Justin Edwards in the second year. Doesn't have to be a two-way. Is there anybody that you feel will
I
make
just
a
hope
big
Justin's
leap?
not this year's Ricky Council.
I mean, I guess it could be
Exactly.
Barlow, I think, is the favorite right now just because he has played well enough in camp and on the floor when we can see them that Nurse has given him 2 straight starts. And that's with Walker playing reasonably well at that spot, right? Talked a lot on Saturday about Barlow fills a niche for this team. He's got the athletic profile. He's got the size. The shot is a question, but it's a question for, again, as we started the show, probably half the rotation. So he's probably got the best chance. I don't know that there's it's weird because this year they don't have a two-way guy in the mold they've had the last few years, right? Their 2 main two-way guys are NBA rotation players, right? Guys who have played real minutes across 2 and 3 seasons, right? This is not, hey, we got Paul Reed out of college. This is not Ricky Council, Justin Edwards that were second-round picks or undrafted players that I'm taking a two-way because this is just my shot to get into the league, right? So it's a different caliber of player. So it's hard to pick that guy this year. But Barlow, I think, is the early favorite based on what we've seen.
I agree. Could because Hunter Salas has the other two-way deal, but he didn't play in game 2. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was. I'll go back into the box and see if anything was. I didn't see anything. Just DMP, coach's decision in the box score. All right. So with that, I'll just go right to the second round pick and ask, could Janai Broome, maybe not to the level of what Ricky Council did in year 1 and Justin Edwards did in year 2, and they had 2 totally different seasons. One was a playoff team. The other was a lottery team. Could Janai Broome be that guy where we were all together collectively, including Rich, we had our questions. And while he's shown some things, we still don't know what that role might look like if he gets on an NBA floor in the regular season games. Could he surprise us? I guess he could.
Yeah, and he fits the mold of like the next Justin Edwards a little bit more because he's coming in as a rookie. I do think if I had to pick one player, he'd go like, that was a pleasant surprise. I would put Barlow ahead of him in probability, or at least where I'm at right now.
Absolutely.
So I would probably agree with Kyle. Part of that is also that like there's just. Well, look, he'll get opportunities because Joel will miss games, but when Joel's healthy, like you'll probably end up seeing Bona and or Drummond in that spot. So you don't know if he's going to be a consistent night in, night out spot. Frankly, I hope we don't see a whole lot of.
But is he going to play 5 anyway? Is he going to play 4? And do they go in different types of 4 looks with him out there on the floor?
I mean, you know me and my reservations.
I know, but I mean,
shot well at summer league.
I'm just throwing it. I'm just throwing it.
Yeah.
If you're surrounding him like Kyle, you both have said. Let's say you have the 3-guard lineup out there, and their shots are falling, but you need some rebounding out there on the floor too. Yes, we lean Barlow.
The rebounding, the soft hands, like there's a bunch of look.
Can he play off of
Being
Joel
skeptics as we are, you
Yes.
can still see like, okay, if I'm looking at him to do something, it's fill the weakness rebounding wise, provide an outlet when they trap the guards. Like there are some things. It's just so hard to project when the athleticism is what it is.
Sure.
The athleticism and the size, right? If he was a true 7-footer, that's a different story, right?
And that's why I'm asking at the 4 and not the 5.
Yeah.
That's all.
Look, I have frankly just not seen enough of him in this setting where I can even be like, I see what his future is, right? The whole thing for Broom is he's got to get used to NBA speed. And then you see, is the athleticism just at such a deficit that he can't make it? Or is he a smart and productive enough player who understands his weaknesses that he eventually will find his level and be as good as he's been everywhere else, right? Because he was a great college player, like just one of the best players in the country, full stop. We just have no idea how that works at this level.
I think there's just such unless he's like a legitimate like lights out shooter, I have so many concerns with the mobility of him at the 4 that I would probably end up just preferring Barlow, I think, at this point. But
I agree.
We'll see them both
I was throwing the other one there as an option because I don't think he's going to play a lot of 5 because, as Kyle mentioned, if Joel's out, it's going to be the other 2. So if he does sneak on the floor, could he then occupy 5 minutes out there at the 4 position with shooters surrounding him while, let's say, Embiid is out there and Embiid likes the way that he ducks to the basket and he finds him with a quick pass, baseline, because he's not shooting. So they may not pay attention. Next thing you know, he sneaks by the defender and he gets to an open spot in the middle of the floor along the baseline, that push shot, the ball fake, because he knows his weaknesses, the footwork and the lefty, all that stuff. So just a thought, just a question, and throw it out there as a second-round pick and how they utilize him. All right, let's get one more in here, Bree, of the questions. We got Steve in here, or this is mostly for me, I imagine. Okay. Is Watford's handle good enough for him to dabble at point forward to free up Maxey McCain to run around screeners on the perimeter, or is it playmaking ability mostly limited to his passing ability? I think we all have opinions on this, and we've talked about
what
this.
makes this just because he was in Brooklyn? Is that what makes this a Devon question?
Maybe. But we appreciate the question, Steve. We appreciate it. We've talked about, and Maxey has said it, the unique ability for him to be able to handle the basketball and not have that type of player on the floor. But with his handling, his ability to put the ball on the floor and create for others, because he is a pass-first looking type of guy out there on the floor at that point forward position. He is looking for everybody else. He will definitely do that. The runners and all that stuff will play into it. But this is a piece of the offense and the piece of adding this type of player where, yes, you do try to put him out there on the floor. And if you can get guys like Grimes, Maxey, McCain, and even Edgecombe good looks and good opportunities because of his ability to pass, that's what you're getting from Trendon Watford when you see him out there. Old man game, but effective old man game out there on the floor.
I have very few concerns about the ball handling, playmaking part of it. It's what happens when you take him out of that role, right? I think he absolutely has shown. You give him the ball, you let him, take guys off the dribble, attack smaller defenders. He can do that. All of my questions have been the other stuff. Is he a good short role player? Is he someone who's switchable enough defensively? Will he rebound enough, right? All roads lead back to rebounding to some respect with the other guys on the roster, right? Because you should have enough creative talent between Maxey, McCain, Edgecombe, Grimes, PG, Joel Embiid, right? That's 6 guys that you want the ball in their hands and you want them taking the majority of the shots, right? What does everyone else do? How do they chip in? And Watford, in theory, is a Swiss Army knife type of guy, but the shots got to come, the rebounding's got to be there, and the playmaking has to show up in different spots than maybe it did when he was in Brooklyn.
I have no opinion because I'm not Devon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Steven. He showed up at one of our events. Good dude. I appreciate you. No, I mean, look, I think there's some question of, are you going to ask him to actually create out of pick and roll as much as he did in prior years, at least as much when he's on the floor as a percentage of his offense. Because there's just like, you have so many other options. Kyle just went through them that hopefully, knock on wood, a couple of them are healthy for each game. I know that's a tall ask.
Fingers crossed.
But if they are, like, they're just better at forcing rotations and creating advantages. So he's probably not going to be in the same role he was when he was on lesser teams. The question is, can you then take that court vision, that creativity, and put it when he's in a short role, or put it when he's playing off ball and maybe you're able to get a defender closing out on you, even though the shot's still a question mark. It's going to be finding ways to leverage that creativity in sort of different environments, because I do hope he's not creating, handling in a pick and roll as a lead ball handler as much as he was previous stops in his career. But we've said this time and time again, anyone who's a good decision maker and a good passer and has some creativity to it, I love those skill sets. I just want to find ways to translate that into his new role, and that's why you would love to see him on the floor right now. Unfortunately, nagging injury. Hopefully we see him soon.
Lastly, for me on this one is that when I say that he's pass first, when he was on that last year's Brooklyn team, Cam Thomas was hurt a lot. Cameron Johnson was out there a decent amount, but not a lot. And he was still passing to others that were just not shooters on that basketball team. But he still he makes the right play. So if you're looking for somebody to make the right play, make the right pass, make that extra pass to get the best shot available, he's going to be the guy to do that at that point forward position for Nick Nurse's team. Now let's see the results when he has those shooters around him and playing with a player like Joel Embiid, which he has never done as far as a big man goes in the front court. All right, we got a few super chats. We thank everybody for the mailbag questions. Let's get to the super chats here. And Heffa, we'll start off with Heffa saying, just wanted to say how much I appreciate y'all with the Purple Hearts, 3 of them.
Heffa.
Always, also, well, we'll get to that in a second, Heffa.
Also begging LeBron to retire and come by the Sixers.
We'll get to that in a second here shortly, but thank you, Heffa. We appreciate you always, not only in the daily interaction here on the show, but the mailbag questions when you send those in. Whether
Also,
we have
if you ever figure out how to install it on your phone, she's in Discord quite a bit as well.
That too.
Yeah.
Sign up.
Very active member of the Discord, so thank you to
Sign
Heffa.
up.
Thank you,
we
Cheddar.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. Citizen X. Here's to a good season. Go Sixers.
Go Sixers / Knicks. Hold on.
You had me in the first half. Not
Is
gonna
this
lie.
a member of the extended Devon?
No, this Citizen X is the.
He's
the
like the
Knicks
one
fan,
person
though.
who's actually a fan of both teams.
Yeah, both teams. So
I'm not a violations guy, but I
agree, Citizen
I don't
X.
know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, thank you, Citizen X, for
We appreciate it. I'm sure we'll have a lot of conversation about whatever the Knicks are doing, and certainly when they face off in the 4 games that they do.
Yeah,
but
our in-show Knicks correspondent will keep us updated on them throughout the season.
Yes, we will. Not too much, but yes, we will. Thanks for the super chats. As always, we really appreciate it and the interaction on the show. Bree, let's get to the poll results for you on this this poll you have up about is
it day of the week you're trying to think of?
The panic button. What are the end results here?
66% say it's just the preseason.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's right.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's right.
I
I
agree.
think we're all in agreement there.
Yes. All right, let's get to the news and notes here on this. Let's start off with the first one, which is the big one, because we want to do that before overtime. And that is just simply LeBron James putting out a cryptic tweet and sitting down with the video and saying that he has decision number 2, which will be announced on tomorrow, Tuesday, October 7th. Guys, gals out there in the chat, and Kyle, Derek, Bree, what is it?
I think he's got some ad partner BS.
I was going to say, tomorrow, I was saying to Bree, is Amazon Prime big deal days. I would not be shocked if this is some Amazon thing. And I'll be really irritated. Now, this is not me saying I want it to be that he's announcing that this is his final year and it's a retirement tour. Like, I want LeBron to play as long as he feels he wants or needs to. But I would rather it be that than like you turn the decision into, hey, here's a sale on JBL speakers on Amazon or whatever. That just would not sit right with my spirit.
We're hitting overtime, everybody. AllPHLY.com. Thank you on the TV side. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. right here on the PHLY Sixers podcast. So it's not his second league thing that they've been leaking out there I don't know. Who knows? Decision number
feel
2
like it'd
is
be weird to announce that
I
you're starting
agree
a
with you.
second league while you're still in the one that's the first league.
I don't know.
But then again, there's Unrivaled, which is, that operates at the same time as the WNBA. So.
Rolling. Said, I'm canceling that meeting. We're not doing that, Kathy. After your press conference ahead of the finals.
Fucking Kathy, I can say that now.
I agree with you guys. After thinking about it, Kyle said it first to me about the Amazon thing. I was like, all right, that's fair. Because it immediately goes to, all right, the second league, retirement, but Prime makes sense.
Did he finally get the trademark for Taco Tuesday that he was after years ago?
Speaking of, have either of you tried the new Choco Taco?
No, I'm slacking, man. I need to get over there.
I thought that was a show thing where we were going to do it on the air.
Oh, are we doing that on air?
I was not aware of that.
Are we abstaining until we do
Bell
that?
sponsors us.
I'm not abstaining. If I drive by a Taco Bell and I see they have the new item, I'm hitting that up. And then I'll pretend I didn't until we do it on the show. But yeah.
Brian Knight says LeBron's retiring and joining PHLY Sports. Come on in, man. Get a fourth chair with you.
I feel like the budget might not quite be able to fit that in, but we'll try.
I think we need to.
He's doing that for free.
We need some big time partners if we're gonna.
He's bringing the
get
partnership
LeBron on
with
the
him.
set.
Let's go. Let's have at it. Finally, did you see this one? You mentioned our teammate Mark Stein from DLLS Mavs. Did you see this one? Former Sixer, general manager, and local guy.
I do think I saw that.
Former Sixers general manager Ed Stefanski now hired as a front office advisor for the Suns. Did you see this?
I did see that.
Came out of nowhere. Like where's Ed been?
Well, he was what, with Toronto at one point? I think the Grizzlies too, right?
I think he was most recently with the Pistons, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And that seemed like that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ed Stefanski back.
I mean, an advisor is so nebulous that you don't really know what he's doing.
But even still, when you've had the things that have happened so far with that new Suns ownership, and we hear all the things where Isaiah Thomas has a voice, Mateen Cleaves has a voice.
Oh, it's a mess.
And you have so much going on. Having somebody who has actually done this before in there as an advisor to just, say, hey guys, maybe we don't do that.
Hey, look, at least he wasn't a Michigan State alum.
That too.
Upgrade for the Suns in that
because
department. They're diversifying.
The general manager,
they're bringing in guys from other schools.
The general manager is a guy who has never done the position, had the position before. So bringing in somebody with some experience, I don't think it's a bad thing. So,
and he really is. Like he was one of the first people that I really got to know, like on the beat. Really a great guy. Didn't do a great job here, but a great guy.
No, but a good guy. Yep, absolutely. All right,
Delco guy.
Back in the mix.
He was in Avalon most recently. I think it was.
Was he?
There. Yeah, I think it was originally Delco though. He was actually drafted by the Sixers, if I remember right.
He was.
He
was a
very late round.
10th round.
Yeah.
Can you imagine covering a 10 round NBA draft?
Absolutely not.
That
would be like 5 days in
my
today's
question is how many
TV.
are in each round, especially the earlier rounds?
Yeah.
How many are in the first and
I
second
could probably
rounds?
look this up as
Like
we're doing
10?
this. But yeah,
What year was that? That would have been
from Delco, went to Bonner, went to UPenn, and then was drafted by the Sixers and eventually ran the Sixers. So, it looks like, these rounds are a lot shorter. No, the 10th round, though.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
5, 6,
many in the first
7,
round?
8, 9.
7. Well, I went back to the mid 70s and it was like 17 per.
There were 16 picks in the 10th round.
Hmm.
So there were 173 total picks.
God, I'd lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
I mean, think about some of the
times.
places these guys are playing. There's a guy who went to Minnesota State who was drafted in Ed Stefanski's draft. East Texas State, Concord,
Isn't that where? Isn't
Newberry.
but like Mo Cheeks wasn't it Southwest Texas State? I think Mo Cheeks went to. So yeah, scouting is fantastic back then.
I'm looking at the 1971 draft. They had 237 selections in that draft.
That's wild.
The last 65 of them never even played a game of NBA basketball. Like, what are we doing here?
So
That's why it's cut down.
Yeah.
the Sixers in the 9th round of this draft took a man named Fly Williams,
Yes.
who played
That
in
is
the
a
ABA,
fantastic
which
name.
is like, that might be the most ABA name
Yeah.
I can think of, is
100%.
Fly Williams.
Fly.
But he previously played for the Allentown Jets, which was an EBA team, Eastern Basketball Association.
You play where you just find the runs, man. Find the runs.
So shout out to Fly Williams and the show
I am-
today.
Shout out to EBA.
First member of the roll
Let's
call.
bring the EBA back. That's what LeBron's doing, trying to bring the EBA back.
I am from Allentown, and I didn't know
Can
the
you
Allentown
imagine
Jets were
if
ever
he
a
was
thing.
like, we're bringing back the Eastern Basketball Association.
Association to challenge.
We have a
the
team in
NBA.
the Lehigh Valley.
Ah, fantastic.
Come on, man.
Show schedule at the bottom of the screen, everybody. 3 p.m. all week, except for Friday. They're back on the floor in front of their
Pre and
fans.
post on Friday.
Pre and post game on Friday. So we'll get started at, 7 o'clock start, Bree, on Friday. So 6:30 pregame, and then we'll go post game about 10 minutes after the final whistle on Friday against the Orlando Magic. Friday at home. One more preseason game after that. The following Friday at home, and I believe that's the Minnesota Timberwolves as well. So 2 more home games for the preseason for the Sixers after the 2 on the road in Abu Dhabi. And we'll be with you all week, 3 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 6:30 pregame on Friday as the Sixers take on the Orlando Magic. It's time for the first one of the week, and that is the world famous. It's the roll call.
No barnstorming for us, ladies and gentlemen. We're here or we're at the arena. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for being here on a Monday to open up the week. Thank you to Corey Morris, to Tom Jackson, Elaine Bruno, the Bull RJ.
What up, RJ?
Someone who appeared to be an eBay person whose name was I Love Offers. Which, to their credit, and the reason they're being brought up is this eBay seller came in and said, that like button's looking a little lonely. We love a pitch from I Love Offers to hit that like button, because I'm going to remind you as well. So thank you to them. Thank you to X-Man, to Cenobite Mayor, to Air Daywan, to Say What?
Say what? Phillies, Eagles, say what? What happened this
We
weekend?
got Code Ran,
Sorry, Derek. My fault.
JS, T. Harris,
What up, T. Harris?
of course, Hedfa with the super chat. Of
Yes.
course, Citizen X with the very confusing super chat about
Go Knicks.
the Sixers and Knicks, but we still love you both. Dave P, Densley, Ramid, Marcus Blackstock, Theo, Duck Holiday.
What up, Mark?
Good to see Duck, who is actually talking a little positive about VJ. I never thought I'd see the day. Duck is getting on board. We like that, even if
Where's
deep down
Pump?
in your heart,
Where's Pump?
you're an ace guy.
Well, Pump and Teacher got
Ace's
game.
debut, I believe, is what, Wednesday this
Wednesday?
week, I want to say.
Okay.
So I will probably
Come on, Pump.
have that on the background
Come
somewhere.
on.
He really just
listen. You know, if Ace has a big debut,
Yeah,
back?
Pump.
we'll be back.
It is great because we're starting to get a lot of the regulars back,
Yes.
like X-Man, for example.
Saw X in there.
Yes.
Pump is still MIA, though. He is still MIA.
He's waiting for VJ to have a
He's-
bad game.
He's at a soda bar in Provo right now. Thank you to Win Forever, to Puppas, to Mom's grandchildren, of
Hey,
course.
Mom.
What's up to Mom? Mikhail No Bridges in the building.
I don't know who that is.
AA Ron, B Knight,
What up,
Eugene,
Mikhail?
Music Lover 31,
Play that music.
Futz, Joaquin, my girl Nona, of course.
Hello, Nona.
Jeffrey Stewart, Val, Jess. Thank you to everybody
Hey,
who was
ladies.
coming in here today on a Monday to start the week. Like Devon and Derek were talking about, we're 3 o'clock the rest of the week until Friday when we have Magic pregame and postgame. Derek and I will be at the
Jace
arena.
Richardson, huh?
Devon will be holding it down here. Hey, Jace Richardson looked good in his preseason debut. Feeling pretty good about that. My guy. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Until then, I need you to hit that like button. Get those likes up. I need to see way more. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight if I don't see more likes on this video. I'm going to be very sad, and
Don't make
so
me
is
do
Bree.
this.
Bree does all this hard work for all of you just to see a lack of thumbs ups on the video. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it, even though I love all of you. But also hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications each and every time we
warm
go
it up.
live. Until
Had a
next
little-
time, stay safe, take care of one another. Goodbye.
Go Phils.
We all silly like the mayor.